This thing here, Hamas, Hezbollah, Israel, that's just that hatred that goes back at least 50 years, right? Why did the Jews come there in the first place, bro? They were trying to escape the oppression that they faced during World War II in Europe. They were almost annihilated, bro. And they've been fighting ever since. Right? So, yeah, the Palestinians and the Arabs are real mad at, and they want to displace Israel, but they can't. The Israelis will fight to the last, bro. You're never going to displace them. So that's that. The Sunni Shia thing, you know what I mean? Like Iran and Iraq was fighting. I mean, Saddam Hussein was gassing people again. Put them in a room where I wouldn't be able to tell me who the Iranians are, tell me who the Iraqis are. I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference, bro. They all look like they're related to me. But man, there's a lot of hate there. And then you look at Afghanistan, even before like 9/11 and Americans' involvement and all that, you had those tribal conflicts and all that. Man, humans like to kill each other, bro. You know what I mean? Oh, I see what you're saying. And you're referring to the current economic conditions and tensions rising. Yeah, man. I mean, I think the stage is set. Like I said, like, the thumbnail of this video, like, I put in there like the escalation, bro. Like yeah, man, the stage is set. I think it can happen. It can happen quick, and it could definitely happen around what's going on with Israel. Israel's going to take care of Gaza. They're going to do what they got to do. They might get into the West Bank, use this as a reason to get into to the West Bank and take care of Hezbollah, right? And then when they finish that, they're going to go to the source, man. They're going to take care of Iran. At least try. In America, we are committed to supporting Israel. So in that region, that means us against them. That's America and Israel is coming to deal with the Muslims. It could happen, bro. It could happen. It could absolutely happen. And I like to and thank you very much for your comments, man. Thank you so much, family. I don't know if you're male or female or whatever, but thank you. But yeah, the current economic conditions, man, like people who are destitute, broke, like really poor. I mean, they ain't got nothing to lose, man. I mean, and a lot of that is just, they just don't have anything to lose. The reason America it hasn't devolved into some chaos is because, the average broke person in America, the poor people in America, it's not like being poor in Nicaragua or being poor in Palestine. Like being poor in America, you rich compared to the rest of the world. And every American who doesn't have anything believes that they can wake up tomorrow and be a millionaire. So long as they have that belief, they're never going to go grab their weapons or go out and just go, crash out. They're not going to do it because they believe that they can be successful. They can be a millionaire. You see it all the time. I know guys who had nothing and, right now they're flying around on private jets. So you can do it. You can do it legally. You can do it illegally. But in America, Americans believe that they can level up anytime. It's up to them. I can just do it. They believe in that. So the rest of the world, nah. Honduras, Nicaragua, parts of like Venezuela, Argentina, parts of Colombia, nah. They wilding out, man. It's a different world. They fighting to live another day. The Middle East, like Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, you know what I mean? The Saudi is a little different because there's a lot of wealth there, but it's a lot. They have extreme wealth in Saudi and they have extreme poverty. So, like, and I saw that when I was over there. Like, wow, these people. You got people in the desert who are just like dirt poor, ain't got nothing, and you got these billionaires over here. You know what I mean? Riyadh and Rafah and all that kind of stuff. It was crazy. It was crazy. You look at Dubai. If you got money, you good in Dubai. But if you don't have money, you hate life. That class system is real. You know what I mean? I don't know what it looks like in Europe these days. You know what I mean? I think especially like in Western Europe, there's people going to help you out. I don't know about Eastern Europe. But yeah, I think that tensions are going to continue to rise, and I think we're at that boiling point. I think that there's a very good chance that this could turn into a good old fashioned shooting war right out of the Middle East. And then who knows what China's going to do? Who knows what North Korea might try? Right? Something like this can spark the whole world. We could be looking at a global conflict. We could be. If people had money and resources, and not even a lot of money, if people could wake up, feed their family, have clean water, take showers at night, watch a little bit of TV or read a book and don't have to worry about someone coming and doing something to them. If they don't have to worry about being forced to believe this or being forced to believe that, a little bit of free speech or something like that, Those people ain't trying to pick up weapons and do nothing. Americans ain't really trying to get involved in some sort of, World War II style conflict, global conflict, because we got it good over here. You know what I mean? But Americans will get involved because, first of all, we're violent. Secondly, we know if we don't handle it over there, we're gonna have to deal with it over here. So this could be the start of something. Progress in Motion Picture Studio. This could be the start of something. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate the question, man. Brother Dino, what's good, man? Dino Dinosaur, man, checking in from the UK. It's like DL jobs are booming. 336,000 new jobs in September, double what expected. Yeah, but there are numbers out there that shows it's half that. Which numbers do you believe? That's the problem over here in America. There's a ton of help wanted signs here in Florida, though, for real. But we're going into, again, this conflict is about to pop off. We still have this commercial real estate thing that's about to pop off over here in America. All the money in our economy is being pushed by the real estate market. Though that market is starting to cool off big time. The correction is coming. Interest rates are going to continue to go up. I don't think Jerome Powell is going to drop interest rates, even with this conflict. He's going to, continue to raise interest rates. We'll see how it plays out, bro. We'll see how it plays out, man. But don't believe the hype, man. People think it's all great over here. It's lollipops and candy canes over here in America. It's not. There's a ton of working poor over here in America. They're not doing anything because they believe, if they really wanted to, that they could be the next Patrick Bet-David, right? They could be the next Walter Weeks, right? They could be driving a Lambo if they work hard. They believe that. Truth is, that's not going to happen. Right? There's a, that jobs report you're talking about, 336 new jobs, bro. Like, one person might have 4 of them jobs, bro. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of Americans aren't even really working like that. And the way we count our unemployment numbers is real shady math. But eventually the truth is going to come out. This economy has been doing this, and this. They say, man, but it's going to start. Can't go up forever. It's going to hit. It's going to be one of those events like a Black Thursday, Black Monday, or Black Tuesday. It's going to be one of those things. It's going to wake up one day and the market is going to crash and all sorts of stuff. We still got problems with our regional banking system. The small and regional banks are still having a lot of problems. There's going to be a money crunch. Americans are making money, but they can't really buy stuff. Purchasing power is way down because of inflation. Like, bro, it's not pretty over here, man. Most of the folks I see out here, man, they are really, really struggling. On there's people being evicted. There's foreclosures popping off. There's foreclosures starting to go up. People are losing their cars. If you lose your car in America, you're gonna have trouble getting to work. You can't get to work. You can't make money. Like, it's a, bro, it's a balancing. It's a very delicate balancing act over here in America. Like, it could go either way. Either way. So, and then, like I said, the have yachts and the have not. Shout out to Andrew Tate. He's right about that. People with money got money over here, man. They doing it. They killing it. They killing the game. But the majority of people, the 99%, they ain't got it like that, bro. They ain't got it like that. When you get down to like the 50 percentile of Americans, they're barely holding on. They can barely afford to buy groceries. There's so many people going to there's stores set up here where you can go and get free groceries and stuff like that. People are going to the food banks and stuff like that. Families. People are pulling up in their SUVs, their brand new Ford Chevy SUV, and going in there and getting free food because they can't afford groceries because the purchasing power is down. And yeah, there are tons of jobs out here, but they're counting the Uber job. They're counting the people who run up in, the Postmates and all that kind of stuff, Uber Eats, they're counting those jobs. Right? All the jobs they're talking about are part-time jobs. They're not talking about full-time employment. And then when you look at the people who are making the big money, the big corporate jobs, they're starting to downsize because they're preparing for this recession. So what does that mean? They're laying people off. Right? So you go from making that job where you were making $60,000, $70,000 a year, you just got laid off. What are you going to do? You're going to go work at Target and you're going to start driving Uber, trying to maintain that life that you couldn't afford at $70,000 a year. Now you're making $50,000 or $45,000 a year. That math don't math. It could be a thing. It could be a thing. Progress in motion. With the conversation of class system, what would be the best social structure? Capitalism, socialism, communism. I like capitalism, but in that system, the winners win hard and the losers lose hard. Yeah, I'm not a fan of socialism. I'm not a fan of communism. It just doesn't work. It works on paper. Socialism and communism just leads to um, mad mass corruption. Yeah, we got corruption on the capitalism side too. I think America's problem, like I think our system, capitalism works, but the problem is our political system is being bought by the 1%, in my opinion. So you need a lot of money to be involved in the American political system. If we were to remove the money from the system, right? If we have this thing on the books. There's a law out there that's called Citizens United. Citizens United was basically a way to allow dark money. You know what I mean? It allows people to use money to influence our political system, right? If they can overturn Citizens United, if we can enact term limits, right? We got politicians that have been in the White House who are older than me. We got politicians who have been politicking in Washington for the better part of 50, 60 years, right? They do it until they die. They're making so much money. Look at someone like Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, the people on the left, they love Nancy Pelosi. I'm pretty sure she's a nice woman. But Nancy Pelosi did not go to D.C. worth $100 million, $200 million. She didn't get there with that money. She got that money after she got there. I'm not mad at her. I'm glad she got her bread, right? And I'm just using her as an example. You can do the same thing on the other side. You look at someone like McConnell. Like Mitch McConnell's been in, he's been in D.C. since the Vietnam era. That's another one who didn't go to Vietnam, draft dodger. You know what I mean? He might actually been too young, though, to be honest, but that's another one. You should not be a professional politician. If our government ran in a way that the founding fathers kind of envisioned it, I think our country will be better. A truly representative, government, it would be better. But right now, politics is dominated by the 1%. You can't run for president or senator or governor without millions and millions of dollars. Who's going to be able to do that? Someone like Vivek Ramaswamy, he's a billionaire, and he's running, and he's spending hundreds of millions of dollars on his own campaign. Why is he spending so much money? Right? Because he knows there's more money at the end of that, path. So I think our form of government will work if we can take the money out of our politics. Imagine if the people who go to DC really go to represent the folks that they're from North or South Dakota, or from Ohio, or from Michigan, or from Wisconsin, or from Florida. Like just the mom, the dad, the person who cares about America, who just goes. If we can do some campaign finance reform, and we can get regular Americans that are going to go to America and represent Americans, right? And they're not there to be professional politicians. They're not there to make money, right, for themselves, to enrich themselves. If they're there to get government money to come back and help their state, to help their county, to help their city, then I think it will work better. You got to take the money out, right? So I think that our form here in America, I think that capitalism over socialism and communism, absolutely, I'm for capitalism. Yeah, capitalism has its problems, but I'm for that. But if we can take the money out of our political system, I think it'll work better. Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not going to be perfect, nowhere near perfect. But in America, I mean, look, I'm descended from slaves, bro. My grandmother's great grandmother died a slave, right? Think about that. Died a slave. I'm descended from slaves. I've had an amazing life. I started on the other side of the tracks, but we made it out. And it's not just me. It's a lot of us. Under our current government, we made it. Right. And it's just, I never would have gotten into the FAA as an air traffic controller if it wasn't for affirmative action. Never would have happened. Right. Vivek Ramaswamy's father never would have gotten into America if it weren't for the H-1 visa program. It never would have happened. Vivek Ramaswamy, he benefited from affirmative action, but yet this guy will, he literally made his billions, gets into politics, and he wants to do away with all the things that helped him and his family. We got people who are out there just doing this wild stuff, right? Anything for $1. I'm just using him as an example. I mean, it's tons of politicians out there just like him, right? But there are tons of politicians out there who are doing good for their country, doing good for their state, doing good for their community. You don't know their names, but they're out there doing the work, right? If you know their name and you're not in that person's district, right, more than likely that person is bought by the 1%. If you know, like you look at someone like AOC, Look at her net worth from the time that she got into office before, when she was a bartender, to where she is now. I'm not mad. I'm just using her as an example. I'm just using her as that Bobart woman. Same thing. She didn't even finish high school, but look, she's a representative in Congress. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I think the system works, but we have to do some tweaks here in America. Now, I can't speak on the rest of the world. I mean, the rest of the world got to do what they got to do. I don't know what part of the world you in, fam, but the rest of the world they got to do what they got to do. I wouldn't want to live in Canada. I wouldn't want to live in Australia, right? At all. You know what I mean? I don't think I would want to live in UK, because I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that they're doing. Like, if you say certain things, like if you don't identify somebody by their chosen pronoun, you can wind up, getting arrested or fined or something like that. I don't know about that, bro. I like being able to say what I want to say over here in America. I can call you whatever I want to call you. I don't care about your pronouns. So yeah, man, I would say that capitalism. Yeah, I'm for capitalism over socialism or communism, absolutely. But here in America, we got to definitely work on our system. Our system is just rife for corruption, and it hurts us. And you can go back and look. You can look at the American political system, and you can see where the changes occurred that benefits the 1% and it hurt the bottom 99. The 1% can't legally buy your vote, right? They don't want you to vote, because if the average American will vote, they will vote down a lot of the stuff that's going on out here. But the 1% owns the politicians. They own the media. They can make people believe pretty much what they want them to believe. And so long as they keep them disillusioned, they won't go out and vote. Americans don't vote. Americans don't vote. Americans don't serve. I would definitely make it a requirement. If Americans served and they knew they could see what the rest of the world is doing, I think more Americans would definitely vote and participate in the system. Right. But they believe the system doesn't work. The system does in fact work. Right. It works so well that the 1% is willing to invest billions into the political system to get the things that they want. Right. They're buying Supreme Court judges, Clarence Thomas, bought and paid for. They're buying politicians. You know what I mean? Matt Gaetz, bought and paid for. Right. They're using the laws to enrich themselves. You know what I mean? Like I said, you look at stuff like that. You got Nancy Pelosi, her husband. He's supposed to be some sort of financial genius. Nah, she just gets the insider information and tells him where to put the money, right? And it's not illegal because she controls what laws are legal and what's legal and what's illegal. She was controlling that from the house. So they didn't break any laws, but boy, they did enrich themselves. And again, I ain't mad. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I ain't mad. Get your money, but at least take care of America.